Her name is whispered in shadows, a name that the scriptures scarcely speak, yet legends roar with her defiance. Lilith. To some, she was the first woman. To others, the first rebel. To still more, the first demoness. But who was she? Was Lilith truly Adam's first wife, cast from Eden for daring to defy him? Was she a mother of monsters, a demoness of the night? Or was she nothing more than a mistranslation, a shadow born from the fears of men? Tonight, we descend into the oldest whispers of human memory, into the crumbling scrolls of ancient Mesopotamia, the folklore of the rabbis, the visions of mystics, and the rarest pages of the Holy Scripture itself, to ask one question: what is truth and what is myth? This is the story of Lilith. For all the countless tales of Lilith, her name appears only once in the Holy Scriptures, a single line hidden within a prophecy of judgment. Isaiah chapter 34 verse 14. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the jackals, and the wild goat shall bleat to its companion. Also the night creature shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. The Hebrew word here is Lilith, but translations differ. Some call her the screech owl, others the night hag, and many simply the night creature. This is the only place in the Bible where her name, or anything like it, appears. There is no mention of her in Genesis, no record of her as Adam's wife, no description of her as a demoness of the night. Those stories came later. So why has a single shadowed word, Lilith, become the seed of one of the most enduring legends of all time? To answer this, we must step beyond the Bible into the folklore of ancient rabbis, where myth took root and the woman who would not bow was born. If the Bible does not tell Lilith's tale, then where did it come from? The answer lies in a text born not from scripture, but from folklore, a mysterious medieval work known as the Alphabet of Ben Sira. Written around the 8th to 10th century, it tells a story that would shock the faithful for centuries. In this tale, Lilith was not a demoness of the desert. Not yet. She was Adam's first wife. According to the legend, Lilith was created from the same dust as Adam, equal, independent, free. But in Eden, harmony quickly shattered, for Adam demanded that she submit, and Lilith refused. Why should I lie beneath you? We were created equal. We are the same. When Adam pressed his will, Lilith spoke the divine name of God, and in a single breath, she fled Eden, vanishing into the winds of the world. Adam cried out to the Creator, who sent angels to bring her back, but Lilith would not return. She chose freedom, even at the cost of Eden itself. Thus, in the eyes of legend, Lilith became the first exile, the woman who defied man and defied God. And from her defiance, the rabbis claimed, came her curse, to wander as a spirit of the night, preying upon children and mothers, a terror in the darkness. But this tale is not in Genesis. It is not in the Torah. It is the invention of tradition, a story born centuries later to explain a name that the scriptures barely whispered. Long before the rabbis gave her a name, long before Adam's tale of a rebellious wife, the people of Mesopotamia feared the spirit of the night. They called her Lilitu. On clay tablets written in the world's first script, the cuneiform of Sumer and Akkad, we find warnings of these spirits, beings of the wind and storm, haunting the night bringing sickness to children and death to mothers. They were said to steal into homes under cover of darkness, seducing men and draining life. One of the oldest stories speak of the burning tree of Inanna, where a dark spirit nested, a woman with the wings of a bird and talons like an owl. Some scholars see her in the echo of Lilith, not yet the wife of Adam, but already the bringer of terror. For in the Akkadian tongue, Lilitu simply meant the night spirit. It was a word of fear whispered among mothers, a curse invoked by men who felt powerless against unseen forces. And in these spirits, we glimpse the oldest foundations of Lilith's myth, the woman of the night, the seducer, the child stealer. When the Jews were carried into Babylonian exile, they heard these stories, and like a shadow crossing cultures, Lilitu became Lilith. No longer just a creature of the night, but an identity, a name, a legend waiting to be written. As centuries passed, Lilith's shadow did not fade. Instead, it grew darker. In the medieval world of mysticism, she was no longer a fleeting spirit of the night. She was enthroned in the very hierarchy of hell. The Kabbalists, Jewish mystics who sought hidden meanings in the scriptures, spoke of Lilith as the consort of Samael, the angel of death. Together, they were said to rule over demons, a perverse mirror of Adam and Eve. Where Eve was life, Lilith was death. Where Eve brought forth children, Lilith devoured them. She became the queen of the night, the seductress who preyed upon men in their dreams, birthing unholy offspring. In medieval folklore, Lilith's role expanded further. Amulets were crafted to ward her away from cradles. Mothers whispered prayers against her. She was said to lurk at windows, waiting for an unprotected child, or to slip into a man's bed as a succubus, leaving him drained of life. The Zohar, one of the central works of Kabbalah, declared her the mother of demons. She was both feared and cursed, yet endlessly invoked by those obsessed with forbidden knowledge. For Lilith was no longer just a creature of exile. She had become the embodiment of temptation and destruction, the very shadow of womanhood turned to terror. Thus, by the Middle Ages, Lilith was firmly seated in the dark imagination of the West. Not a wife, not a fleeting spirit, but a queen of chaos reigning in the night. Centuries have passed since the rabbis whispered her name, since amulets were hung on cradles, since mystics crowned her queen of demons. And yet, Lilith lives on. But now, her image is divided. For some, she remains the first monster, the shadow at the edge of the night. For others, she has become something far different. In the modern world, Lilith has been reimagined as a symbol, the first woman to resist, to refuse submission. Where tradition saw rebellion as sin, today some see freedom. Lilith is hailed as a feminist icon, the one who defied not only Adam, but every chain laid upon her. But there is a tension here, for in reclaiming Lilith, some forget the fear she once embodied. The rabbis did not imagine her as a hero, they imagined her as a curse. And so her image stands divided. Is she the demoness of death, or the woman who chose freedom? In literature, art, and even popular culture, Lilith rises again and again. Sometimes a monster, sometimes a mother, sometimes a symbol of power denied for too long. She is both the terror of the night and the voice that refuses silence. From the deserts of Babylon to the scrolls of rabbis, From the mystics of Kabbalah to the voices of our modern world, Lilith has walked through history as both shadow and flame. She has been called Adam's first wife, a demoness of the night, a succubus, a queen of hell, and now a symbol of resistance. But what is truth and what is myth? The truth is this: the Bible itself speaks of Lilith only once, in Isaiah chapter 34 verse 14, as a mysterious night creature, nothing more. There is no mention of her in Genesis, no record of her as Adam's wife, no role for her in the story of Eden. That tale was born not from scripture, but from centuries of folklore, fear, and imagination. The myth is what came after. Rabbis casting her as the first wife, mystics enthroning her as the queen of demons, folklore painting her as the thief of children and the terror of the night, and artists and thinkers reshaping her into a symbol of independence and defiance. So Lilith lives in two worlds. In the world of scripture, she is a passing shadow, a whisper on the winds of prophecy. In the world of myth, she is eternal, a spirit that cannot be silenced, endlessly reborn by the fears and the desires of mankind. Whether demoness or icon, Lilith remains the woman who would not bow, and for that reason, she will never be forgotten.